is back in front of the Raider fans today in Oakland's home opener. And today's game being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. SPERO, DEDES, Steve BEUERLEIN, Steve Tasker, 53,000 plus as Oakland wins the toss. They defer and Jacksonville will receive. Both teams 0-1. Raiders going to Indianapolis last Sunday and nearly pulling the upset. Those 17 unanswered points led with under 6 minutes left, but Andrew Luck and company would pull it out. Sebastian Janikowski's kick, fielded by Stephen Burton in the end zone for the touchback. And 1st and 10. The quarterback change this week. Blaine Gabbert out. That lacerated hand, 15 stitches on his right throwing hand late in that game against Jacksonville, or in Jacksonville last week. Starters up front, Luke Jokel's 2nd overall pick. A rough NFL debut last Sunday against Justin Houston in Kansas City. And Maurice Jones-Drew, not a happy homecoming here last week. The Bay Area native back nearly a year to the day after sustaining that wrist flank foot injury, and he is stuffed on 1st and 10. C.O. Moore on the tackle. Starters defensively, Lamar Houston, the only returning starter up front for the Raiders defensively. C.O. Moore, limited snaps last week, starting today back from injury. And Charles Woodson, 3-time first-team All-Pro, the starting free safety. This is 2nd and 11. Henny hit as he throws. This is Jones-Drew out of the backfield and again stuffed. Mike Jenkins on the tackle. And these fans liking what they're seeing so far. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Well, certainly, and the home opener for the Raiders, it's a sellout here in Oakland, something they don't experience very often or haven't in past years. This is a very energetic defense that's looking to really pile on an offense for Jacksonville that struggled a week ago.
Third and 10. Incomplete. And a familiar sight for Jacksonville. 3 and out, and they'll punt.
Well, one of the problems with the Jaguars over the last couple of years has been drop balls. I don't think this ball would have gone for a first down anyway, but the situation that's worth getting into, guys, is that Jacksonville, again, has a 3rd and long. Last week, 51 of their 90 plays, they had 10 or more yards to go for a first down. It's hard to call those plays. It's hard to be successful if you're facing that every down.
California native Brian Anger on it. Former punter at Cal. 11 punts, a franchise record last Sunday. Phillip Adams has real estate inside Jacksonville territory and run out of bounds by Anger right at the Jacksonville 40, 30-yard return from Adams.
Well, it's blocked perfectly up in front of him. You can see him get to the picket fence and the wall. And once he turns the corner at the 35-yard line, it looks like it was going the distance. Luckily for Jacksonville, Anger, the punter, plays it perfectly and uses the sideline to corral him out of bounds. Otherwise, there is no doubt he was the last guy with a chance to save that touchdown, and he did.
So excellent field position for Terrell Pryor and the Raiders on their first possession. 1st and 10 at the 38. This is Darren McFadden inside the tackles, creeping towards the 35. So Terrell Pryor, one of the big stories this week in the NFL. Last Sunday, just the 8th quarterback since the merger to throw for 200 plus and run for 100 or more in the same game. Khalif Barnes, one-time Jacksonville Jaguars, starts today for the rookie. Menelik Watson out again with the injury. Marcel Reese, now the highest paid fullback in the NFL, 3-year contract extension signed here on Friday. 2nd and 7, whistles blow the play dead.
As we take a break for this penalty, it's an illegal procedure penalty on Raiders. You know, both tackles, the right and the left tackle, Tony Pashos, both at one time were starting tackles for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They feel they know these guys extremely well.
Number 85, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's the tight end, Jerron Mastrud, who is making the start for a 2nd straight week. Osbury, their supposed opening day starter, out again with injury. So Mastrud, the starter, and Michael Rivera, the rookie out of Tennessee, will be the backup tight end. Marcel Weiss, the fullback, lined up at the top of your picture, split out wide on 2nd and 12. Pryor, little sling pass to McFadden, who was brought down right after the catch. Ball comes loose. And now the officials say he was down by contact, and a late marker comes in right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, it was Derek Marks with the pressure on Terrell Pryor on that play. He had to get rid of the ball right before he got hit. Not sure what the penalty is.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 58, defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's the two-time Pro Bowler Jason Babin. And he is hot at that penalty. Huge call against the Jacksonville defense.
And you'll see right at the bottom, he's laying on top, right down there.
And that's Derek Marks right there.
Yeah.
Right over here, Jason Babin going for that football. With the pile up on the ball. A little bit too rough out there. And that is the scouting report on Jason Babin. A little bit of a loose cannon.
Some trickery here. The direct snap to McFadden straight up the gut. Gets close to the 15-yard line. Excellent pick up on first down. It goes for 7, and it will be 2nd and short.
Well, this is the Raiders version of the Wildcat. You see McFadden back there in the gun. He did that a lot at the University of Arkansas. It was one of their most effective plays, and believe it or not, Darren McFadden can actually throw the football. Completed a couple passes at Arkansas, so don't be surprised to see if that comes up at some point today.
And first down is a perfect time to do that.
Pryor from the gun. This is 2nd and 3. Fakes the handoff. Pryor fakes out the defense. He's got the first down. Tiptoes in. And now the officials say he stepped out of bounds right around the 15-yard line. Actually, they'll spot it down at the 10. 5 yards and an Oakland first down.
Yeah, we spoke to Dennis Allen on Friday. He has said, and it's a big issue, when do you let your quarterback run? When do you tell him to slide? They told Terrell Pryor, don't use any rules. You see, they're just out of bounds. They just slide when you're going to get hit hard. But if you're one-on-one with the defender, stiff-arm him and beat him, because they have a lot of faith in his instincts and his ability to beat a defender one-on-one. You saw it right there. If he stays in bounds, that's a touchdown.
This time they split out McFadden towards the top of the screen. 1st and 10. Marcel Weiss lunges end zone. Touchdown.
See off the left side, right behind Khalif Barnes and Mike Breezel. Fantastic job there by the left side. That's a power running game we're going to see a lot of. Darren McFadden, Marcel Reese, these Raiders running backs like this aggressive style of running straight ahead, mainly between the tackles. They just dominated the line of scrimmage on that play.
First Raiders touchdown on an opening drive of the game since week 17 of 2011.
Yeah, that's 2011. That's 17 weeks, 17 games about that they have not scored on their opening drive. And not only did they score on this first drive, they got a short field by the good kick return, and they didn't hesitate. They didn't take a negative play the entire drive, except for one illegal procedure penalty. But when they snapped the ball, they got positive yards. And right now, Jacksonville knows they are in a dogfight.
And for Jacksonville, more of the same. Last week, that was the big themes for them against the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs got the short field well on the Jaguars side of the 50 several times, a couple times around the 20-yard line. It's hard to play defense when the team comes out on the field with that short field all the time. They've got to find a way to win that field position battle, especially with their struggling offense.
And on a drive like that, it's tough to beat a team when they're playing mistake-free football, even when you're evenly matched. And this Raider team has got a lot of veteran guys out there, and if they're playing mistake-free offensively and executing like they did, that run by Marcel Reese into the end zone, you can't block it any better than that. They are tough to beat, and Jacksonville's going to have to match them.
Sebastian Janikowski booms it to the back of the end zone. This time Barton's going to play it. And he is hit hard inside the 15. And As Chad Henne back onto the field, forced deep inside their own territory. Guys, what about below-the-radar players who may be a factor in this game? We've already seen one of them.
Well, I think for Jacksonville, they've got to use Denard Robinson. He's labeled as an offensive weapon, and if you need a spark, use all your weapons to get there. Denard Robinson.
And we've already seen from the Raiders, Marcel Reese, he already made us look like we know what we're talking about. He just got the extension this past week. They use him in the passing game. He's a strong runner, very versatile player. He will be a factor.
And we promised that was BEUERLEIN's guy before the start of the game. Looking into his crystal ball today. 1st and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew playing in front of family and friends today. We talked about his recovery 10 months after that Liz Frank injury sustained here October the 21st of last season. Of course, never played another game last year. And guys, there were times he doubted whether or not he'd ever be back. Last week certainly did not look like the MJD we have grown accustomed to seeing. This is 2nd and 2 after a pickup of 8. And he is short. It'll be 3rd down coming up. 47-year-old first-year head coach of Jacksonville, one of 3 rookie head coaches in the NFL. Not exactly the way he envisioned his thing getting going last Sunday. 28-2 defeat at the hands of the Chiefs. The last 4 years as the defensive coordinator for Seattle.
This is a very different situation, SPERO, for the Jaguars, though. 3rd and 2, you can go into your bag of offensive plays here. You got a lot of different things you can do. Much more desirable in that 3rd and long they've been finding themselves in.
Penny from a gun, 3rd and 2. He's got his man. It's Cecil Shorts. And these two really found a nice chemistry in the 6 games late last season that Chad Henne started in relief of the injured Blaine Gabbert. 1st down.
And you talk about Chad Henne and how he did start at the 2nd half. He and Cecil Shorts really did find a rhythm together. Look for them to look for each other. Even in this no-huddle offense, a quarterback always knows where his #1 guy is.
13-yard pass play, 1st and 10. This was Jordan Todman, a first-year runner out of Connecticut. Practice squad with Minnesota for much of last season. So here, the same situation they were in, guys, last week. No Mercedes Lewis, and of course Justin Blackman suspended. Where do you go outside of Shorts?
Well, that's what we got to find out. This guy right here is a guy that Chad Henne was talking a lot about this week. Stephen Burton, Ace Sanders was a 4th-round draft choice this year out of South Carolina. Steve Tasker talked about Denard Robinson. Those guys have to step up. I mean, Cecil Shorts is the only guy that's proven himself on this field.
Heading from the gun, here come the Raiders on the blitz, 2nd and 9 out of the backfield. It's the fullback, Will Taufolo, former Cal runner at the collegiate level, and he is going nowhere after the over-the-shoulder catch.
And you talk about all the youth in their wide receiving core. That just the fact that they're unproven doesn't mean they can't play well. We just don't know if it's going to happen, and I think until they do it in a game, Chad Henne doesn't know it either. You can practice well, you can have all the skills, but if you don't show it on game day, it doesn't matter.
But I get the impression from Chad Henne after talking to him this week, he's been working with these young receivers doing the scout team all during the preseason and during the first part of the year. He's excited to see if he can get these guys going.
3rd and 8. Catch made by Ace Sanders, penalty marker thrown. Sanders well short of the 1st down marker. Injured Raider is Tyvon Branch, the safety.
Illegal hands to the face, number 65, offense. That penalty is declined, 4th down.
That's Will Rackley, the guard, who was a question mark today with a knee injury.
Tyvon Branch stayed down on that. He was in the backfield. The Raiders brought some pressure on the 3rd and 7 play, knowing that if they could tackle him short, they would get another chance to return a punt.
And one of the things Dennis Allen said, you're going to see Tyvon Branch coming off the edge. There's Dennis Allen. He told us yesterday, he said, we want the offense to not have any idea where we're coming from. We want them to have to count for everybody. You see Tyvon Branch, number 33, just shooting right through the gap there and gets tangled up with Will Rackley. But Dennis Allen is very, very optimistic about this defense. As you see Tyvon Branch coming off the field because of the variety. They've got 9 new starters like we talked about, but they're veteran players. They're capable of handling a big package defensively. They like to keep you honest, coming with everybody from everywhere.
And that is historic turnover when you talk about the 9 different starters. Only the 2nd team ever to change 9 primary starters defensively in the same season. The only other team to do it, the 2002 Oakland Raiders, behind Rich Gannon, of course, the Super Bowl runners-up against Tampa Bay.
Well, Tyvon Branch out of the game. They're going to have to go down the depth chart to Osama Young, Brandon Ross, DJ Hayden, their rookie. Someplace they're going to have to fill in. With Charles Woodson back there, that's not as much as an issue because you know they'll be lined up correctly.
It's a shame Brian Angle doesn't get paid per punt. Already his second boot today. Phillip Adams, fair catch from his own 16. And for the first time in a while, Jacksonville with a favorable field position battle. 45-yard punt. And here was the early punt return from Adams. 30 yards, guys, to set up that early touchdown drive.
And then following that was the little bit of trickery with the Wildcat, Darren McFadden, and then finishing up with a strong physical run off the left side of that Raiders offensive line by Marcel Reese. The game could not have started any better for the Raiders. In fact, we can sense up here, I believe you guys will agree with me, the intensity of this Raiders team right now is not even close to being matched by the Jaguars.
No doubt. I think this is a team that really feels they let an opportunity slip away a week ago, and they want to come out and get it back today.
Pryor fakes the handoff, rolling out, surveys the field. It's incomplete. Threw it a little bit behind Demarius Moore. Incomplete. Jonathan Cyprien, the rookie safety. Excellent defensive play for the Jaguars.
Well, Pryor's going to the right guy. He just throws it behind Moore. And it looks as though he's almost headed, and that camera angle looked like McFadden was his intended receiver. But I don't think there's any doubt he was trying to get it to Moore. He just couldn't lead him out far enough to make that an easy catch. But Moore's got to bring that in. That's a catch that has to be
You're
made.
100% right. That's a drop. He's got to make that catch. Could it have been thrown better? Sure. But he's got to make that play.
So Terrell Pryor, the 24-year-old quarterback from the gun, hands to McFadden. McFadden says this is the healthiest that he has been in his career. Of course, he's never made it through a full NFL season healthy. This is a contract year for McFadden, and he knows, and he told us guys in his meeting, he feels like he owes this franchise a big season, and he's poised to give it to him.
Yeah, you look here, the toe, the foot, and the ankle. Those are running back injuries. I mean, you look at Maurice Jones-Drew. He had the Liz Frank strain in his foot last year, kept him out of the thing. That's what running backs do. Their legs really take a pounding.
Here's Pryor, 3rd and 8. Pocket collapses. Launching it down the sideline. It's incomplete. And what a play. On the deflection, it was Dwight Lowry. Barely got a fingertip on it. Sent Derek Marks on the pressure, getting to Pryor.
Well, we were talking to Denarius Moore, who was an earlier target for Pryor, and he said, it's great playing for a guy like Pryor because you get a second chance. If you don't get the route, or if it's not even your play to begin with, you know that if it breaks down, you're going to get a second chance to make a reception on that play.
What do you call it? Backyard football?
That's right, and that's really what it is.
That's what it becomes. They got about a lot of pressure on those defensive backs. Stuff those guys out over the field.
There's Marquette King stepping in this season for the Raiders' longtime punter Shane Leckler, who has since moved on to Houston. That one bounces out of bounds. 44-yard punt as Chad Henne back onto the field for Jacksonville. It's the Jaguars offense that last week gained just 178 yards of total offense, barely avoiding that all-time Jacksonville low in a single game. And one thing, guys, Blaine Gabbert may be the guy they're still looking at long-term, but Henne, much more experience, and maybe in the short term is the better option.
I agree. I think that for this team right now, the best chance to win is probably Chad Henne, but you got a first-round draft choice. You got to see if you can play, so it's the ultimate dilemma for Gus Bradley.
Clay Harbor, the tight end, was the man in motion. Jones-Drew, they have not given him much room to maneuver early on. Markers thrown right at the snap.
This is going to go against the Raiders.
Offside, number 99, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Lamar Houston on the penalty.
And guy, I made that comment about Chad Henne, saying he gives the Raiders the best chance to win right now. Saying that, I feel like I'm kind of a little bit off. He was 1-9 last year as the starting quarterback for Jacksonville. So it just shows how difficult a situation the Jaguars have right now.
Now Gabbert That stint early in his career with Miami, second-round pick of the Dolphins in 2008, started 30 games in Miami, winning only 13. Henny thrown across his body, and again, trying to target Cecil Shorts, this time incomplete. After they hooked up earlier, Tracy Porter on the tackle, and he revamped Oakland's secondary. Steve Tasker, you touched on it earlier, one of the biggest differences in this Raiders team.
Yeah, and you see there, Tracy Porter does a great job because that ball is completed to Shorts, and he stays with it. This is a veteran group back there. We mentioned they have 9 new guys starting, but they don't have 9 rookies starting. These guys all have experience and savvy, and they all have something to prove.
Porter, a member of that Saints Super Bowl championship team. This is Jordan Todman on 2nd and 5. Minimal gain on 2nd. Jacksonville again faced with a 3rd down coming up.
And also what's unique about these veteran players that the Raiders are bringing in is we look at Jed Fish, the offensive coordinator for Jacksonville. Most of them are on 1-year contracts. Reggie McKenzie, I talked to him before the game, and he said he wants these guys hungry, playing for their futures, knowing if they have a big year, it could lead to good opportunity next year.
3rd and 3. Caught. That's the tight end, Clay Harbor, claimed off waivers from Philadelphia just prior to the opener. That's 4 yards and a Jacksonville first down, their 2nd.
You know, a lot has been said about this Raider team and the turnover and the change in culture. As you see Henny, that's Kevin Burnett coming in to make that tackle. Burnett's a perfect example, a veteran who's bounced around a little bit, but all these guys really want to play hard because they're all in contract years, and I think it's a brilliant move by Reggie McKenzie to build a team like that short term.
And he had to do that, though, because they're so strapped by the salary cap.
First down, Jacksonville keeps it on the ground. They approach the 50. 7-0 Oakland. We send you to New York. And an update with James Brown.
A very valuable first-round draft pick.
And late in this ball game, it became the DeAndre Hopkins show. Biff catch. Matt Sharp throws it up. He comes down with it. Remember, JB, the new overtime rule, you must score a touchdown or the other team gets the ball. Houston Texans 30, Titans 24. Texans 1.
SPERO, Steve, and Steve.
All right, guys, so Tennessee, the upset over Pittsburgh last Sunday, nearly pulled it off again today as another marker thrown. Just as that ball was snapped, Kevin Burnett.
Offside, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So that's Kevin Burnett, the first-year Raider, free agent signee coming over from Miami.
Yeah, he jumped the ball, definitely jumped the gun there a little bit right before the snap. He got off like shot out of a cannon. Correct call by the referees, though.
So you see on your screen, the Raiders able to run a defensive lineman in. Vance Walker comes in. Sometimes that's crucial, getting fresh legs in against an offensive line that doesn't have the opportunity to substitute.
The tight end Harbor in motion, 2nd and 3. Pitch play Henny to Jones. Drew around into the 40. And Jacksonville now starting to show some life. 5 yards and a first down. And we welcome those of you that have been watching Houston defeat Tennessee in overtime. We're in Oakland, home opener for the Raiders. 7-0 lead, late first quarter over Jacksonville. SPERO, DEDES, Steve Beurlein, and Steve Tasker with you here on CBS. Jordan Todman, the backup running back, lines up split out to the top of your picture on 1st and 10. This is Henny from the gun, batted down right at the point of the receiver. Tracy Porter making things happen in his first quarter, knocking it down. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Very well anticipated by Tracy Porter right there. The ball might have been a little bit behind from Henny on the delivery, but Tracy Porter, not fooled by that at all, jumped the route. You can see right there, it was almost like he was expecting it. The ball from Chad Henne, that's got to be low and in front of Cecil Shorts to complete that ball.
Porter reunited with Dennis Allen, played for him in New Orleans on that Saints championship team a couple of years back. Jones Drew trying to cut it back, make it Jordan Todman, I beg your pardon, on the pitch play. They dumped him for a loss. And Jacksonville will be faced with a 3rd and long. And this is the part of the game, guys, that Jacksonville has to adjust. Playing on that baseball infield where the traction is real tough.
You see Topman right there. He slips and falls in the dirt, but I mean, he runs right into a defensive team meeting for the Raiders. There's the configuration of the team. You can see where home plate is in the baseball configuration, and they're in the infield. And right now, Jacksonville would love to get a single out of the infield.
This will be 3rd and 11 as they bring Henne out of the shotgun. Incomplete. Through the hands of the rookie Ace Sanders out of South Carolina. And Jacksonville will punt.
Well, that ball again should have been caught. It would have been short of a first down, but accuracy we're starting to see is the theme here. Chad Henne is not what I would consider to be a real accurate quarterback in the NFL's career numbers below 60%. Last year, about 53% for the Jaguars. You got to give these guys a chance to catch the ball and run after the fact. That's the only way they're going to make the big yards.
Late first quarter in Oakland, 7-0 Raiders in front. 7-0 Raiders, late stages first quarter as we welcome you back to Oakland. Home opener for the Raiders. Brian Edgar on the punt. Back at his home state today, Phillip Adams signals fair catch. Just outside his own 15-yard line. Terrell Pryor, the 24-year-old budding star, back onto the field when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Verizon. Never be without football with NFL Mobile from Verizon. And by Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Well, the beautiful brand new Bay Bridge that opened up for business just last week on a gorgeous sunshiny Sunday in Oakland. Injury update from the Raiders sideline. Tyvon Branch, their starting safety, leg injury, will not return. Darren McFadden lines up, offset eye to the left. Gets it on 1st and 10 from the 16. Moves the pile for a couple of yards to set up a 2nd and about 8. Well, not too late to sign up and play NFL.com. Fantasy football. Get the free mobile app and exclusive instant video highlights. Sign in and play for free right now at NFL.com/fantasy. We're in Oakland, home opener from the Raiders. In front of 53,000 here. SPERO, DEDES, Steve Tasker, Steve Beurlein, our entire CBS crew with you. 7-0 Raiders with 1:30 to play in the first. McFadden in motion. Little flare pass near side. McFadden's got room. He's got the first down to the 30. And brought down by a number of Jacksonville defenders. Will Blackman making his first start today since 2008 for the rookie Dwayne Glotz. Got there first.
Real nice design of this play. Motion across there. McFadden getting the ball on the run outside wide with some lead blockers. He is the guy that when he gets the ball in space, you can see he's got the acceleration and the power to make a lot of yards after that initial contact.
1st and 10, they spotted at the 30. McFadden. Minimal gain on first down. Guys, you know, it's just one game. Everyone wants to make such a big deal with Pryor did, and he looked great last week. But if he can continue to get better, you talk about a quarterback, running back tandem that could be pretty good in this league for a number of years. Another reason why they're so excited here in Oakland.
Well, Terrell Pryor is a really intriguing guy, and you talk to him, and you know there's a lot of preconceived notions about how he left Ohio State and all the things that surrounded that, and the fact that he was a supplemental pick, the last pick by Al Davis. You sit and talk with him, and he's impressive.
This is 2nd down and 8. Marker thrown. Pryor keeps the play alive. He's going to run. Takes a hit at the 33, maybe the 34-yard line from Alan Ball, who was a question mark today with a groin injury. Well, he covered an awful lot of real estate to pick up only 4 yards as we get the penalty marker.
Who are we talking about? As I was talking about Terrell Pryor, very serious. You can tell it's important to him. He's been working extremely hard to make himself a better passer.
Illegal formation. Number 80 was covered up by number 85, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. It'll still be 2nd down. Correction. Jacksonville has elected to decline the penalty. It'll be third down.
So some confusion to get it sorted out. Bradley declines the penalty. It'll be third down.
But Terrell Pryor has just the demeanor you would love your young quarterback to have. He wants to win, he wants to get better, and he makes guys better around him.
That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Oakland with a Marcel Reese touchdown in front, 7-0 on CBS. Start of the second quarter, 3rd and 6. Raiders will have Terrell Pryor out of the shotgun, 7-0 Raiders. 3rd and 6, snap through Pryor's hands. He feels at the 15, he's going to sling it down the field, incomplete. Wild sequence. And Oakland will punt.
Well, you saw that snap that was a miscue and a catastrophic change, and Pryor's very poised to pick that up and make something out of nothing. Gives himself an opportunity maybe to make something happen, but that's a quarterback that just, was trying to do anything to save a catastrophe.
Marquette King's second punt today. Fielded by Blackman inside his own 10, dancing, making guys miss, but loses his footing and is dropped at the 12-yard line. So Chad Henne, they've shown some signs, able to move the chains a couple of times in this first half, but still looking for their first offensive points of this new NFL season. 7-0 Oakland early in the second. Back with you in Oakland, 7-0 Raiders as we welcome you here inside our booth. SPERO, DEDES, Steve Tasker, Steve BEUERLEIN. Jacksonville's offense, guys, who know about the quarterback change, they look a little better, but still looking for their first points.
No question. They struggled last week, couldn't even get the ball past midfield until late in the second half. They've done a little bit more and been a little more productive today.
They have been. They've been getting yards on first down, which is really the key to keep yourself in desirable situations. But one of the things I'm still waiting to see, they have had good field position, Jacksonville has. I want to see them get a little creative, maybe with Denard Robinson out there, the offensive weapon.
Chad Henne on 1st and 10, finding Shorts, who's got some room off the sideline. And Jacksonville able to move the chains again. Tracy Porter on the tackle.
It's interesting because, with the things that have happened in Oakland with Terrell Pryor getting the start at quarterback, one reason Dennis Allen said he gave Terrell Pryor the ball was because he was a spark in the preseason. And I think Gus Bradley for Jacksonville should find a spark and get it on the field any way he can.
17-yard pass play as they give it to Jones-Drew on 1st and 10. Chad Henne said this week, guys, look, as we look at Jed Fish, their first-year offensive coordinator, Henne said, this is my chance. His goal is to come in, play well today, get the win, and keep this job as they move forward here. This could be his final chance, who knows, to impress this coaching staff.
Charles Woodson coming off the edge up top.
2nd and 6. This is Stephen Burton, the second-year man. Going nowhere as we head back to New York and get an update on this busy week 2.
First touchdown of the Manning Bowl.
2 elite quarterbacks, JB, but it's this guy. No Sean Marino. 20-yard TD run into the end zone, 7-3 Broncos over the Giants.
Back to Jacksonville at Oakland. SPERO, Steve, and Steve.
All right, JB, Shannon, thanks. Oakland already losing Tyvon Branch to a leg injury. This is Mike Jenkins, the first-year Raiders cornerback, the free agent signee now down being looked at. We'll get a timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac. And by Call of Duty Ghosts. Available November 5th. Pre-order now.
Mike Jenkins, starting Raiders quarterback, helped off the field. DJ Hayden, the rookie, is in, as is Phillip Adams on the other side. 3rd and 4, Henne from the shotgun. Eluding one tackler. Henne's going to run. He's got the first down. Out to the 45-yard line. Pressure coming from Lamar Houston but Henny burns him for 9 yards.
And Lamar Houston got quick pressure early, right up the middle. Nice little TE stunt right there, but Chad Henne showing a little athletic ability of his own, not known as a runner, but no hesitation, picked up a nice third down conversion.
Jones-Drew on the draw play, running around and inside Oakland territory, and close to another first down. This by far the best that the Jaguars have looked offensively so far in these first couple of weeks.
It's got to be frustrating for the Raider defense to come in and get a free run on a quarterback and have him slip away. We saw in week 1 all around the National Football League where defenders had sacks and couldn't hold their grip on the quarterback. Cost a lot of defenses, a lot of big plays and sacks, but these quarterbacks are getting so good in practice at keeping plays alive, it's really starting to put too much pressure on defenses.
Henny on 2nd and 2, incomplete through the hands of Shorts, who had that early reception. DJ Hayden, the rookie cornerback, first-round pick for the Raiders on the coverage.
Good coverage by DJ Hayden. As you said, the first-round draft choice in right now because of the injury to Mike Jenkins. But what I like about this Jacksonville Jaguars team, you see they got a 3rd and 1 here right now. They're 3 of 6 today on 3rd down. 2, 3, and 5 yards are the ones they've converted. The ones they haven't have been of 11, 10, and 7 yards. So 3rd and short is a huge statistic, and it's paying off for Jacksonville today.
Right up the gut, needed to get just inside the 47-yard line. We'll see where they will spot it.
The official on the far side looks like
Jones-Drew on the take rather. Jason Hunter, on the tackle. And this is a Jaguars first down.
Yeah, with second effort, it looked like he did not get it initially, and then as those offensive linemen start to get leverage, drop their weight and push, the pile has no choice but to move forward an extra half a yard, and that's all they needed.
Yeah, that was a great stand initially by the Raiders. Second effort is what got it.
So the short-handed Jacksonville offense trying to move the chains. Miscommunication. Looked like someone blew an assignment. Henny looked confused and just kind of tucked it away and picked up maybe a half yard.
Well, it looks like Henny was trying to throw a quick stop right on the outside. Miscommunication. I don't know whether they had a run play called or a pass play called, but there was obviously no idea what was going on. No uniformity out there whatsoever.
2nd and 10 play action from Henny. It's caught in a hard crunch at the 42-yard line. The tight end, Alan Reisner. On the reception last Sunday, his first career NFL start. And it'll be 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, and you see, that was a good throw right where it needed to be. And even though it was a difficult catch, that's the kind of thing a receiver, tight end, running back, they can make those catches with guys draped on them if it's in the right spot. But even if nobody's on them, it's not where they expect it. You see him put the ball on the ground a lot, even in today, early going.
And that was very good coverage by C.O. Moore, but the completion gives Jacksonville 3rd and 6. Much better than 3rd and 10.
Keep in mind, no Mercedes Lewis for Jacksonville for a 2nd straight week, so Reisner making the start. 3rd and 6. Henny. They pick up the blitz, finds Harbor, the tight end. He's inside the 30. Jacksonville first down and a lot more. 17 yards through the air. Henny to Harbor.
Very well designed play. Good timing for the call. You could see pressure coming off the edge from Phillip Adams. Actually, it was Brandon Ross, but the right play called at the right time. We got a guy down on the field, but good call by Jed Fish.
3rd different starting defensive back going down for Oakland. This is Charles Woodson. Timeout.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
Well, the good news for the Raiders, Charles Woodson is okay. Actually wanted to stay into the game, but by rule has to come out for at least the play. Was able to walk off on his own power. Tyvon Branch, if you just joined us there, starting with strong safety, out with a leg injury and will not return. This is 1st and 10 from the 25. 4 for 5 on the drive so far. Airing it out. Got his man inside the 10. It's Stephen Burton. 21 yards. It'll be 1st and goal, Jacksonville.
And they went right after Usama Young, who came into the game for Charles Woodson, the safety. Osama Young slow to get to the corner route or up the sideline on the fade route. He could not get there, and you got to think maybe Charles Woodson would have anticipated that and been there and scared Penny off the throw.
Oakland showing blitz, first and goal from the 3. And that running play with Maurice Jones-Drew stuff, they dump him for a loss. And that'll set up a second and goal. Pass protection, guys, was a huge issue for Jacksonville last Sunday. Blaine Gabbert sacked 6 times. A couple of times today he's been in trouble, has gotten away, but they protected him a little bit better up front.
They have done a good job. They really had some problems last week. Across the board up front, there was not adequate protection for Blaine Gabbert to survey the field. Chad Henne, much better today.
13th play of the drive. This is second and goal. The pitch to Jones-Drew, around in. Nearly clotheslined at the end of that play. Charles Woodson on the tackle, and he is fired up.
Okay, so he's 76 years old. Watch him fly over the top of the block. And
unbelievable.
What an athlete. You don't win the Heisman Trophy as a defender unless you can do stuff like that. I don't care if you are maybe the oldest guy on the roster. Charles Woodson is playing professional football because he can get it done. What an athletic play over the top.
And Maurice Jones-Drew hobbling off the field right there. Obviously hurt. Not a good sign for Jacksonville.
So Jordan Togman into the game. This is third and goal. Henne under pressure.
This play never took place. They threw a flag from the end zone, and it was a delay of game call on Jacksonville. After that big tackle by Woodson on the sideline, it took Jacksonville a little time to get it sorted out. Maurice Jones-Drew came off the field and they had a hard time replacing him.
Delay of game, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, and it's still third down.
And that's a big penalty right there because you're looking at third and goal from the 4-yard line. And now you're looking at third and goal from the 9-yard line. Chad Henne, he's veteran enough. He's got to keep his eye on that play clock. Maurice Jones-Drew had to get out the field because he was hurt. A lot of personnel things going on, but you got to get that ball snapped.
His helmet came off on Maurice Jones-Drew, so he had to come out by rule anyway.
Justin Forsett, the lone setback on third and goal. Henne has time, end zone, incomplete. Clay Harbor, the man he was trying to locate, and a coverage by the rookie DJ Hayden as Jacksonville will try the field goal.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Maurice Jones-Drew lost his helmet. He had to come off the field, and that led to the confusion about not when your best offensive player comes off the field, what personnel package you want on, what play you're going to run on the 3rd and 4. It's a goal line stand, and because of that confusion, it led to the 5-yard penalty, and now they're trying a field goal because they couldn't get it done on 3rd and long.
And the question is, how seriously is he hurt as well, because he was definitely limping.
27-yard attempt from Josh Scobie is through, and Jacksonville with its first offensive points of 2013 at 7-3, Oakland in front. 7-3, Maurice Jones-Drew. That's the same left foot that he injured last October. Again, retaped on the sideline. We'll try to get an update as quickly as we can, as Jones-Drew will get warmed up and try to re-enter this game. It just hasn't had much luck, guys. The Bay Area native grew up in nearby Antioch, about a 20-minute drive from here, the former De La Salle High School star.
That offensive line, though, they have shown some signs of life today for Maurice Jones-Drew, but that's a very significant injury right there. You hope it's nothing serious.
Scobie's kick through the back of the end zone. Jacoby Ford watches it bounce out in a touchback for the Raiders. Charles Woodson looking superhuman on the tackle moments ago. Shaking up Jones-Drew. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Charles Schwab. And by Samsung Smart TV. TV has never been better.
(7-3) Raiders, 7:45 remaining before halftime. Tomorrow on CBS, the episode everything has been leading up to all summer long. How will it end for the people trapped under the dome? Season finale tomorrow, 10/9 Central only CBS. Quarterback comparison so far. Terrell Pryor, one of the stars in the NFL in week 1. Struggling so far, just 2 for 5 through the air, 15 yards passing and only 8 yards on the ground. This is 1st and 10 from the 20. Pryor rolling out, it's going to keep it himself. Runs out of bounds at the 25. Jason Davin forced him out after a pickup of 5, so now 13 yards on the ground. But that Jacksonville defense, guys, has held him in check.
Really has, other than the first drive where the Raiders had the great field position about the 40-yard line going. The Raiders came out like gangbusters. But since then, Jacksonville really has tightened up, played firm, solid defense.
2nd and 6. Pryor fakes everyone out. 1st down and a lot more inside Jaguars territory. Jonathan Cyprien on the stop, but not before Pryor rings him up for 27.
Well, this is why he's so intriguing. He fakes the ball into McFadden. McFadden gets tackled, and Pryor is into the secondary in about a half a second. Cyprien comes over and runs him down, takes the angle. But that's why Pryor, a big play is a big play is a big play. Take what you can get, and he's doing a great job of that.
Down McFadden wants himself inside the 30, barreling forward all the way to the 25-yard line. 23 yards from McFadden, and suddenly Jacksonville's defense backpedaling.
And this is off the exact same action as the previous play. This time, Terrell Pryor gives the ball to Darren McFadden. That defense a little bit hesitant to crash down because of the big play. Pryor made the play before. That gives McFadden the seam up inside for another big gain. Back-to-back big runs for the Raiders.
Well, you can see on that replay, Puslesny comes up and crosses over the face of the center, leaving the backside undone. And McFadden goes right where Puslesny vacated.
McFadden looking for more inside the 25, already almost at his number from last week, had 48 yards only rushing in Indianapolis last Sunday, and he is approaching that number already.
Well, the big two-edged sword for a running quarterback is, are you going to take too many hits to make yourself available for the next game, and are you able to make the defense play honest enough in the passing game so that you can not let them put 9 guys in the box? And thus far, Pryor's been able to do it.
It's down McFadden at the top of your picture. Here's Pryor. On 2nd and 7, Geno Hayes, the outside linebacker, 60-year veteran from Florida State, coming over from Chicago in the offseason, getting there defensively.
Well, this is a design sweep right there, and actually I believe that would be Terrell Pryor's fault. You could see the pulling offensive lineman trying to get out in front of him, but Pryor not quite patient enough. You want to get those big boys out front of you to make a big play in the running game.
We sat with him, guys, Friday, Terrell Pryor. One thing he told us was he struggled sometimes play to play, getting the play in and mentally getting himself ready from play to play, something that bears watching here in just his 3rd NFL start. 3rd and 10, McFadden, little flare pass again. Off the sideline inside the 20. Close to the 1st down. He's about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short. And it will be 3rd down coming up. Russell Allen on the stop.
I like the good, safe play call by Dennis Allen, his coaching staff. Greg Olson. They didn't want to put Terrell Pryor in a situation to try and force the football. 3rd and 10, you're in field goal range. It's going to be a low-scoring game, most likely. Every point matters. Get a quick, easy completion. Maybe it goes for a 1st down, but don't risk the bad play at this point.
35-yard attempt from one of the all-time greats, and Janikowski missed it. Missed from inside of 50 last week. You rarely see that. And this one, a chip shot from Janikowski. Wide left. A rare Sebastian Janikowski miss from inside the 40. Gives it back to Jacksonville. 1st and 10. This is the fullback, Rotao Foro. Obviously, there are some issues early on with Sebastian Janikowski, guys, and his new holder, Marquette King, the punter, taking the spot of Shane Leckler, the longtime punter here in Oakland. He missed from 48 last week, and he had hit 50 straight field goals at Janikowski from inside of 40 before that miss.
You can see they're talking to Bobby April, special teams coach. He is not happy.
This is second down. Henny airing it out deep down the sideline. It's incomplete. Off the hands of Cecil Shorts. Coverage by Tracy Porter.
And this ball was thrown up a little bit for grabs. It looked like Henny wanted to get it out in front of him, but he just couldn't get enough on him. You see both guys put the brakes on. Great ball skills by Porter. As Shorts goes up, gets two hands on it. Porter gets his hand on it and knocks it away. Great defense, and that's what they mean when they say ball skills. When the ball's in the air, you can find it and play it without falling down or completely whiffing on it.
So Chad Henne, the 28-year-old veteran of 38 career starts, buried for the sack back at the 20.
Well, 2 plays in a row, the Raiders were all over Chad Henne. One, he had to throw the football deep to get rid of it. On this one, you can see Houston gets his hand in the face, and then the big guy,
Christu Bilukidi, getting in as they dump him for 9 yards.
Yeah, the pressure from Houston is what flushed him right into Bilukidi. Good, solid pass rush from the Oakland Raiders.
Nice pronunciation, my friend. 4th and long, they punt. Ryan Anger already a busy man. He signals fair catch. He mucks it at the 30. And that one nearly a disaster for the Raiders as Adams kind of lost it in the sun. Maurice Jones-Drew still being looked at on that Jacksonville sideline.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
You got to love these Raider fans, as loyal a fan base as you have in the NFL. 7-3, this is the home opener for the Raiders. Near perfect playing conditions, right around 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky here in the Bay Area. This is 1st and 10. Terrell Pryor goes play action, has his man. Rod Streeter taking a hit and holding on. Jonathan Cyprien on the hit. 16 yards and a first down.
Good solid play action right there. You know, you get a few runs and all of a sudden opens up things because those linebackers have to step up. What a hit by Jonathan Cyprien, but Streeter coming down with a tough catch. Big play for the Raiders.
Well, he was kind of posturing a little bit, but clearly hurt. Jonathan Cyprien, the rookie safety, coming hard on that play. Another vicious collision. Cyprien again. Bryce Butler, another rookie out of San Diego State. 9 yards, close to the first down.
And even though these guys are getting hit, there's no question Pryor is putting the ball on the money and giving them a chance to prepare for the contact. 2 good throws. You got to think it's going to get to Jacksonville in a minute.
Injury report on Maurice Jones-Drew. It's a sprained left ankle. His return is probable at this point. And it has not been a happy homecoming, as you saw for him. Just 1-5 here at the Bay Area at the collegiate and NFL level. 2nd and 1. Pryor under pressure, set. Ball comes loose, and this one's still alive. It's Jerron Mastry, the tight end. Brandon Diedrich.
Now they had some whistles before. There you go. What happened was Terrell Pryor, they're going to call this a fumble, and when his offensive lineman picks it up, inside of 2 minutes of the half, only the guy who fumbled it can advance it, and the Raiders have nobody to blame but themselves. But you go back all the way to the 70s, the early 80s, it was the fumble-rooski that made that play come into effect, that rule come into effect, and here it goes against the Raiders.
Well, Oakland's offense took a while to get in gear last Sunday in Indy, and right now they're struggling again. 3rd and 5. That one is caught. Boy, it was nearly picked at the 42-yard line. That one was awfully close. Jacoby Ford somehow able to come away with the catch.
Well, the little man, the littlest guy in the field, probably makes the most aggressive catch on the field. That ball, we all thought, was going to be intercepted. Should have been by Mike Harris. What a great play by Jacoby Ford.
This is 1st and 10. Pryor's going to run, tripped up. What a play. Jason Babbitt A shoestring tackle from the back. Babin, the two-time Pro Bowler, with a huge defensive play. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report from New York. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher with all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. And we all wish our buddy Dan Marino a happy and healthy birthday today. Celebrating with the guys in the studio. 52 years young today. 7-3 Oakland. SPERO, DEDES, Steve Tasker, Steve BEUERLEIN, our entire CBS crew. Terrell Pryor. Told you just the 8th quarterback ever to throw for 200, run for 100 last Sunday. But different story so far here against this much maligned Jacksonville defense. 2nd and 6. Pryor completes to his man at the 30, and they push him forward. Past the first down marker, 10 yards.
Alertly, Pryor getting them to the line of scrimmage, and they're going to try and spike the ball. And now the Raiders, somebody call a tie. Now they stop the clock. The Raiders were going to try and attack the line of scrimmage and get the ball spotted and spike it. And then the officials came in and stopped the clock for some reason. Now they're conferring. The Raiders I don't think they called a timeout.
The ball is dead by rule.
Not quite sure what that explanation was.
And the reason that the ball is dead by rule, I don't know what that was, but once the ball was set, they were going to start the clock. So that's why Pryor went ahead and spiked it. There was 20 seconds, now there's 19 on the clock here in the first half, and the Raiders will huddle up and talk it over.
Oakland with 1 timeout remaining, 19 seconds left before halftime.
The question Greg Olsen has, Dennis Allen making the ultimate call, I'm sure. How aggressive do we want to be here right now with a young quarterback? Do you want to give him a shot at the end zone, a couple plays at the end zone, or do you want to just try and get about 10 yards and make it a little bit more of a chip shot for your kicker who's struggling?
Michael Rivera in motion. This is 2nd and 10. Pryor rolling out, looking downfield, throwing incomplete, not even close. So 3rd down coming up, pressure coming up the middle from Jeremy Mincey.
That was a complete throwaway by Pryor, but you're right. They were in field goal range 12 yards ago. And you can't really, Sebastian Janikowski has missed a couple in the last few weeks, but you got to go with the percentages and feel like he's going to come through and make this field goal. So you're already where you want to be to go for points. So I think you take your shot and try and get down the field. Now there's 13 seconds left. That's pushing it for more than one play.
So here's Pryor, just his 3rd career start. Over the middle, incomplete. Bryce Butler, the intended receiver, sliding inside the 5. And Sebastian Janikowski coming onto the field.
Well, the question is, do you take the shot with your young quarterback right there? He had an opportunity to make that throw. Could he? Bryce Butler, that ball's a little bit higher. It could have been a touchdown and probably should have been a touchdown. Paz Leslie got a hand on that football.
This will be from 46 yards out. Janikowski missing from 35. But earlier, this one has the distance, and it is good. So Janikowski, the 14-year veteran, longest tenured Raider, and extends it to a 7-point Oakland lead.
And Jacksonville defenders, they were mad. They thought he hooked it to the right. Just the opposite of what he did a moment ago. Jacksonville, the field goal defense team, was jumping up and down. They thought he missed it, but the officials didn't agree.
Well, guys, what a defensive play on the deflection. It appeared to be Paul Posluszny on that 3rd down pass play.
I will say this, though, Spiro. This ball, if it's thrown well by Pryor up and over, he had the middle of the field open. It's a heck of a play by Posluszny, but not a very good throw by Terrell Pryor. If that ball's up another couple feet, it hits the receiver in the chest, and it's a touchdown for Jacksonville.
Now, Posluszny may have gotten a fingertip on it, but he bothered it enough. So take another look at Janikowski's kick, and this one as close as it gets.
If the inside part of the football goes over the top of the outside edge of the pipe, it's good. So if it goes over the top of the upright, all it has to do is draw paint. I mean, it just has to barely get and touch what would have been the outside of the upright. So theoretically, the goalposts are wider above the goalposts than they are down inside the uprights. So that ball, if it got any part of that pipe, is good.
Bouncing kick fielded by a Taofo, and that will do it. Jacksonville, all the quarterbacking issues behind Chad Henne, very much alive. End of the first half, 10-3, Raiders in front. Back with the Verizon halftime report. After this, you're watching the NFL on CBS. (10-3) our score as halftime winds down in Oakland. Home opener for the Raiders, and they have a 7-point lead over Jacksonville. Time now for our Direct TV Ultimate Picture Cam. We mentioned Charles Woodson doing it. How about this play? Leaping over two players to get to Jones-Drew. Jones-Drew injuring his ankle on the play. His return probable at that point, but basically saving a touchdown. As I welcome you inside the booth, SPERO, DEDES, Steve Tasker, and Steve BEUERLEIN with you. The thought was that Oakland, nearly pulling the upset last week at Indy. This would be kind of a walkover game for them, but Jacksonville still within one score.
Yeah, and the key for Jacksonville, I think, is that they've played mistake-free. They haven't turned the football over, and they have not gotten crushed by field position. In fact, the field position switch, the big return by Oakland, was what set up Oakland's one touchdown. Other than that, it's been a very even football game.
Well, I don't think in the NFL this day and age you can anticipate anybody blowing out anybody. It's going to happen once in a while, but the state of the NFL, all these games are close. The Raiders, I don't think, are in a position to expect to really blow anybody out as well. We knew this was going to be a low-scoring, tight ball game, most likely. We all felt that way. We'll see how this second half unfolds, but truly, Jacksonville, I think they've got to get a little bit more aggressive, more creative. The Raiders, let's see what Terrell Pryor can do in the second half. Let him make some plays.
Kick by Josh Scobie, and Oakland will have the football right around 20 after a return by Jacoby Ford. So here comes Terrell Pryor, again, just his third NFL start. First time he is starting in front of the silver and black faithful here in Oakland. You saw what he did last Sunday. Here his first half numbers against Chad Henne. Neither player, guys, has made the big play, but neither has made the mistake either, with Oakland in front 10-3.
The one thing Gus Bradley did say was they have to limit the big runs by Terrell Pryor. He's had one so far today.
Pryor faking the handoff. His pass a little bit too high for the tight end. That's Jerron Mastrud making his second straight start for the injured Osbury. Guys, what have you seen from Pryor so far, 2 quarters in?
Well, he's made some really good decisions. Obviously, he's made 1 or 2 really nice runs and timely runs. I think the thing, if you're talking to me about his overall performance throwing the football, he needs to be more accurate. That play right there is a good example. He threw it off balance over the top, and it was nowhere near where his receiver, Mastrud, could catch it.
I'm not as impressed today with his throwing as I was last week.
2nd and 10. Pryor keeps it himself. Pryor, guys, hasn't played a lot of football. He basically was out, for 3 years. Decided to leave Ohio State. That scandal before his senior season. Didn't play much in 2011. Just 1 start last year. So here's a kid who really hasn't had a lot of time to develop in terms of game reps.
He needs the reps. Everybody agrees with that. We saw his strength on that last play with the straight arm. We know about his speed. We know that if he knows where he's going with the football, he can deliver it accurately. The question is, how consistent can he be doing that?
3rd and 5. Pryor going through his progressions, throws over the middle. It's caught. That's Rod Streeter for the first down inside the 40. And the tackle made by Blackman and Lowry after a 15-yard hookup.
Now this is really encouraging. You see how he's looking to the right, going through his progression. He knew to get back to the middle of the field. He stood patiently in the pocket, trusted his protection instead of giving up on it and leaving the pocket. That's how you make plays in the NFL, and you've got to do it to be a starting quarterback long-term in this league.
As nondescript as that pass looked, that was a very pro-type play. His eyes moved around the field and found his guy.
1st and 10, and again the trickery, excellent fake as he has sold that well today. But that time, Jacksonville's defense not biting. You sit down with this kid, and he had a reputation, the scandal, of course, all the off-field issues at Ohio State. And there's been such a misperception about his character and what kind of person he is. Dennis Allen said he didn't know what to expect last year. You know, Jim Tressel called him a couple of times during his run here last year to kind of vouch for him, ask how Terrell's doing. And Dennis has said he has been as good a soldier as we could have ever anticipated, as they have given him the chance now to be their long-term starting quarterback. 2nd and 11 incomplete, unable to find Reese.
And one of the things that's so intriguing about Pryor, you look at last week, what happened and why we were all so surprised. Watch what happens. You see the pursuit of the Indianapolis defense going to shut off McFadden. Now watch this. He turns the corner. 5 guys have got the angle, and then they don't. The last guy, Lowry, makes a stab at him and comes in and barely gets him out of bounds. That's why defensive coordinators have to stay up long hours to try and defend this guy. And if he starts to throw like we've seen him throw early in the second half, wow.
Most rushing yards by a Raiders quarterback in a game ever last Sunday. Here he is, 3rd and 11, trying to get to about the 49-50 for the first down. He's short. Tackled by Alan Ball, so 7 yards from Pryor, but the Raiders will have to punt.
Really nice tackle by Alan Ball, but what I also liked on that play for the Jaguars, you had the linebackers, Paul Paz, Leslie, Russell Allen underneath. They did a great job not overcommitting to Terrell Pryor. They kept their lanes, they forced him to ball on the outside, and he made the nice open field tackle.
That's easy enough on 3rd and long, but if it's 3rd and short, they're not going to be able to do that. They did a nice job there.
Jaguars blocked a punt last Sunday. This is Marquette King on the kick. Blackman fielding from inside his own 10. Felony marker is thrown.
Oh, this is offsides on the return team, and it's less than 5 yards. This is a crusher for Jacksonville. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone or got an early jump.
Offside, number 85, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. That's a 5-yard penalty. It'll be first down Oakland.
What a crusher.
DJ Williams, the man who is called for the penalty, and that is a backbreaker for Jacksonville. Oh, when you're a 2-14 team trying to turn things around, 0-1, you know, sometimes these are the mistakes. You just can't get out of your own way.
Just the tip of his helmet gets into the neutral zone, and he's over the line. That's all it takes.
This is a Jacksonville franchise that has not made the playoffs since 2007. There's a double pass. McFadden to Pryor. They got his man. It's Streeter. Penalty marker thrown again. Streeter out at the 22-yard line. Pushed out by Lowry. 25 yards, and now we await the penalty. It's back behind the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. Number 69 of the offense was uncovered on the end of the line. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that negates a 27-yard pass play. Khalif Barnes, the former Jaguar.
Uncovered means he's not covered up by a receiver. In other words, he's 69. Khalif Barnes on the end of the line of scrimmage right there. He has to have someone on the line of scrimmage outside of him. The Raiders receiver, Denarius Moore, was off the ball. He's got to be up on the line of scrimmage. That nullified the whole play. We saw that play in practice on Friday. We were excited about when they were going to use it in this ball game. What a shame for Greg Olsen, Dennis Allen, the Raiders. That play came up perfectly, and it didn't count for anything.
See the blood gushing out of that right throwing hand from Pryor. All kinds of penalties early here in the third quarter.
And you can feel the Raiders just wanting so bad to come out and take advantage of that break they got with the 5-yard penalty on 4th down. Now they can't get out of their own way.
Prior to the delay of game, this is the first charge timeout, Oakland.
Well, they had to burn a couple of timeouts last week with some issues getting the play calls into Pryor. They take one early here in the second half. 10-3 your score. Oakland in front. Raiders had to burn a timeout a moment ago. Now they have it 1st and 15. After the penalty from the 45. Pryor, post play action, finds Streeter inside Jacksonville territory. Lunges forward, forced out of bounds. After a nice pickup on first down. 1 week from tomorrow, Tony Collette and Dylan McDermott star in the 15-episode thriller Hostages. Premieres Monday, September 23rd. Only CBS. SPERO DEDES, Steve Tasker, Steve BEUERLEIN, our entire CBS crew from Oakland. Raiders home opener, 4-yard pickup from Strader, 2nd and 6. McFadden, right up center, makes a guy, misses inside the 20, and finally brought down at the 15 by Alan Ball. 30 yards from McFadden, 1st and 10.
Well, this is that great option you've been hearing so much about. Terrell Pryor makes the decision, and the right decision, to give it to Darren McFadden. Boy, he has not seen that much real estate in front of him in a long time. He's seen it twice today. More than excited and eager to take advantage of it and finish off a good, strong run, running over somebody else.
When Darren McFadden could get going downhill, he is a dangerous runner for the Raiders. McFadden again, just out past the line of scrimmage. You know, the one silver lining, guys, with all the injuries McFadden has had, and he said this the other day to us, you know, he hasn't had the wear and tear that a running back normally would have at this stage of his career, 6 years in at the age of 26.
Well, I hate to say it, but foot, ankle, knee, and hamstring is wear and tear.
I was going to say, other than the injuries he's had, he hasn't been too beat up.
That's what wear and tear is.
But he hasn't taken as many hits, I guess is what he's saying. So
McFadden lines out top of your screen. This is 2nd and 9. But Pryor just kind of squirted out of his hands.
he tried to pull it back in.
You saw his hand earlier, blood coming out of that right throwing hand, plus a lot of that sweat, you know, perspiring today with the sun out on a hot day. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s down on the field as you take another look.
Yeah, you can tell he changed his mind in mid-motion. It turned into an incomplete pass. I like that rule. It used to be the tuck rule, but which is no longer there anymore. But that's a pass that went forward that he just got away from him.
If he's attempting to bring it to his body, then it becomes a fumble.
Butler in motion on 3rd and 9. McFadden finds Rashad Jennings. First time we've seen him today, the former Jacksonville Jaguar, facing his former team for the first time, first 4 years with the Jags, former 7th-round pick, tackled by Geno Hayes.
Well, this play was set up very nice. You see the left guard, number 76, Lucas Nix. If he makes that block right there, that's going to be a big play for Marcel Reese. Lucas Nix looks like he might be able to shake it up, but he has to make that block. If he does, that's a big play for the Raiders.
He got up the field so fast, the defender had a chance to get around him.
Janikowski 1 of 2 on the day. This one is perfect. And Oakland pushes its lead to 10. 9 and change left third quarter. Chad Henne onto the field when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Captain Phillips, in theaters October 11th. And by Microsoft Surface. Click in and do more.
Long scoring drive for the Raiders to start the second half. 69 yards and 12 plays. That 30-yard run by Darren McFadden. A big play to set up the field goal from Janikowski. 13-3 Raiders who scored. 9:18 to play third quarter. In front of 53,000 here in Oakland. Stephen Burton 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Burton has the seam past the 20 out to the 25 and tackled at around the 28-yard line. So good field position for Henne when we come back. Jacksonville down 10. 13-3, Chad Henne and Jacksonville's offense onto the field already thin. And now Maurice Jones-Drew questionable to return with a sprained left ankle. Denard Robinson lining up in the backfield. 1st and 10, they fake it to him. Henne's going to run, flag thrown. This one all the way on the other side of the field. Henne run out of bounds by Tracy Porter. And this one a false start against Jacksonville.
Illegal formation. Number 15 was covering number 87. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Stephen Burton on the penalty. Fantasy football fans, still time to get in and play with the best this season. New games available to join today. Sign up right now at cbssports.com/football.
Now that's one of the issues you run into playing a lot of these younger players. They don't run a lot of these plays. They don't get a lot of reps, and all of a sudden they're out there. They make a little mistake like that, and it costs your team.
Denard Robinson, who we barely saw last week, takes the handoff, 1st and 15. In a second effort, gets him to the 24. You know, guys, this is a team that can ill afford to lose anyone, let alone Maurice Jones-Drew. If that is a substantial injury, if he can't come back today, there's not much behind him.
Well, you think about what he's meant to this offense. Every year you go back the last 3 years, particularly the 3 years before he was injured last year, he's averaging 300 carries a year. In 11, he had 343 carries. That's a lot of offense taken away.
2nd and 15. Henny hit as he throws. He finds Shorts. Well short. Didn't even get to the original line of scrimmage. Charles Woodson again for the Raiders defense.
When you talk about Charles Woodson as a cornerback for the majority of his career, all of his career until this year, you don't think of him as being a real big physical tackler, but that's where you're mistaken. He's one of the biggest, most physical corners in the league for many years. Now playing safety, his tackling ability is solid.
Yeah, his size is one of the reasons he could play for so long, because he's so strong on the football.
3rd and 13. Caught, but well short of the marker. That's Denard Robinson. So first 2 touches.
Yeah, at this point of this half, you see the first 2. This is a defense with the Raiders who feels it now. Gus Bradley's got to find. We keep using the word spark, and it's just something that you find, and people see it, fans see it. You just got to find somebody who can make a play when they're not supposed to make one, and it makes a difference.
Brian Anger on the punt. Adams going to call for the fair catch. This one takes a Jacksonville bounce inside the 10. Well, that one was on its way closer to the goal line, but Denard Robinson picked it up. 61-yard punt from Anger.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Moto X, designed by you, assembled in the USA. And by New York Life Insurance Company.
Well, I'm sure that Denard Robinson didn't cover too many punts at Michigan, but you got to let this ball go. He touches it there at the 11-yard line. That's where the Raiders get the football. If he lets that bounce, they could get it inside the 5. That's a mistake.
1st and 10. Pryor all day to throw. Finds McFadden. Across the 15. Knocked down at the 16-yard line by Geno Hayes. But this Raiders offense, moving the football early on, they struggled since.
He's trying to get the ball to Streeter on this play, but blanketed pretty darn well by Alan Ball. The key thing about what you just said, though, Steve Tasker, getting that ball inside the 5-yard, and that really limits the Raiders' playbook. You get it outside the 10, they can run their regular offense. Big difference.
Streeter in motion, 2nd and 5. McFadden just running over guys. Ball plus Lusney on the tackle.
That was a big hit, but you're right. I mean, he tried to get the ball to Streeter, but instead just checks it down to McFadden. Now they've got a 2nd and 5, and McFadden plows into Lusney for a kind of a stalemate, but it's 3rd and 4, and you've got a little breathing room. Much better than an incomplete pass, trying to force it in where you could have a tipped interception or an interception outright for 6. These kind of plays, while they're nondescript, make Terrell Pryor. I mean, there's a lot of hope and a lot of promise in the way he's played.
Look for the read option right here, maybe from Terrell Pryor.
McFadden comes up, Jennings in 3rd and 4. They get to Pryor. Mincy on the sack.
That was a 4-man rush, and you've got to be able to pick it up. This is Mincy off the top, coming in from the left side. He's way outside the left tackle, but he gives a big up and under after the tight end. And it ends up, excuse me, that's Jeremy, Mincy. He's playing tackle, and as they snap the football, he comes right inside Lucas Nix, and I mean, that's a whiff. A 4-man rush, getting there that quick, that's unacceptable for the Raiders.
And it's one of the worst pass rushing teams in the worst last year. Only 1 sack last week.
Last season, 5 fewer sacks than any other defense in the NFL. Penalty marker thrown. As Blackman signals for the fair catch, 48-yard punt as it stands now. We await the penalty.
During the kick, Holding, number 53, receiving team. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be first down. Timeout.
And it's Kyle Knox, the man penalized, so Henny looking for points. Jacksonville down 10. Well, 10 castaways return, but the game they're about to play is far different than what they expected. Don't miss their surprise when Survivor premieres Wednesday, 8/7 Central, only CBS. SPERO, DEDES, Steve Tasker, Steve BEUERLEIN from Oakland, 13-3, Raiders in front. First and 10, they try to go end around, but it's going backwards. Lamar Houston not fooled as Burton pushed back. Jed Fish, offensive coordinator for the Jaguars, trying to roll the dice, and it backfires.
Well, right there, Lamar Houston not at all biting on that hard play fake to the right side. You see right here, he just comes straight up the field, very disciplined in his responsibilities, and makes the play for a 9-yard loss.
Still no sign of Maurice Jones-Drew, sprained left ankle in the first half. His return questionable at this point. Any play action finding Togman out of the backfield. Two markers fly out of the backfield. This one could be coming back. Jacksonville just cannot buy a break.
Illegal hands to the face, number 75, offense. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Eugene Monroe, the 5-year veteran tackle, as Gus Bradley looks on.
Well, and this left tackle, watch this as this play takes place. He's going to get his hands up into the face of Houston right at the end, right there. As you see Houston's head go back, it's right in front of the umpire and the referee, and that's just the guy they watch. Two flags come in simultaneously and it negates the play. You can say they can't get a break, but they're making their own problems.
They just can't get it right at this point. And you're looking now, and they're confused coming out of the huddle. Chad Henne's got to take a timeout.
Now you talk about inexperience. That's where it shows itself late in the game when you're trying to get it together.
This week, don't miss the show that's in a league by itself with guys who take on all 32 teams and each other every week. James Brown, Phil Simms, Chris Collinsworth with the artistry of NFL films and the chemistry the guys catch inside the NFL. Wednesday at 9, only on Showtime. Jacksonville just 113 yards of total offense. They need 29 for the first down. Henny's pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Jason Hunter on the deflection.
Jed Fish just trying to get a completion here. I was thinking screen or draw for that situation, but the big paw goes up, gets deflected. Luke Jokel, the rookie first-round draft choice, second pick in the draft. That was Jason Hunter that got his hand up and batted that ball down, but they can't even get the simple completion when the receiver running back is wide open.
Now the officials have a problem with the game clock and try and get that set.
Thank you.
Get it reset to 25 seconds. Third and 29, 53,000 making noise here in Oakland. Third and 29. This is Forsett across the 20 and brought down at the 21, well short of that first down mark of 7 yards. Tracy Porter on the tackle. The Jacksonville guys, for a little bit of a stretch in the first half, looked okay offensively, but suddenly the protection has gone south, and Gus Bradley looking for answers.
Gus Bradley's got his work cut out for him. I think that's safe to say. We all knew that coming in. He's not laughing. We can laugh about it up here, but it's a franchise that needs a lot of work.
Anger's punt sails out, and excellent field position for the Raiders. Jacksonville, as I mentioned, 2-14 a year ago. Franchise worst finish. Once again, changing the hierarchy. They bring in David Caldwell, 39-year-old GM, new head coach, but same old so far. In the meantime, Oakland spearheaded by that man, Terrell Pryor, down front by 10.
Well, you see him, the good things he's done today, and he's looked like a rookie quarterback a lot of times for the most part today, but you see what he can show if he gets the opportunity. If he's got green grass, he can hurt you in a hurry, but he also has the ability to stand strong in the pocket and make the throws.
1st and 10. Here is McFadden to the outside. He's inside Jacksonville territory. Still going. Darren McFadden is putting it on the Jaguars. 32 yards and a Raiders first down.
Watch Marcel Reese get out in front of McFadden and gets in to the secondary, gets a hat on the first guy. McFadden outruns Puzlusny from the inside. Cyprian can't get there, and he ends up having the angle taken on him by the safety Dwight Lowry. I mean, that was a well-run play, and in the big plays, the Oakland Raiders have just executed perfectly.
And McFadden said he wanted more touches. Only 11 rushes today, but he is over the century mark with that last run.
But he just lost 2 right there, so I think he's just back to 90.
Good point. Roy Miller on the tackle behind the line of scrimmage with under 2 minutes to play in the third.
He was at 101 before that carry, and then he just went right back to 99.
Something tells me he'll get there. 2nd and 12. You see the rushing numbers so far. It is all Raiders statistically. Pryor, little shuffle pass out to Ford, who is mauled. Allen Ball getting there right at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, you want to play professional football. Look what happens to you. The ball draws conflict, and I mean, he gets lifted up and planted. That's out of bounds, but because the motion started inbounds, they kind of let it go. Jacoby Ford is not the biggest guy on the field. He's 5'9", $190, and I'm telling you what, you get tossed around out there.
And I think Allen Ball took out a little bit of frustration, too. It's frustrating being on that side of the ball and not having any support from your offense.
Ball was a question mark with a groin injury. Here's Pryor, 3rd down, off the hands of Denarius Moore, a marker throw behind the line of scrimmage. Boy, Moore was wide open, didn't have a player within 15 yards.
Illegal hands to the face, number 58, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jason Babin penalized for Jacksonville.
He's working against Tony Pashos right there. Right there. And you see Babin get his hand up into the throat of Pashos, and you can't do that. And for the Raiders, in a perfect world, Moore catches that and they decline the penalty because that was a nice crossing route. And I'll tell you what, one thing that's helping Pryor is the fact that aside from 1 or 2 plays, this offensive line is dominated in pass protection.
1st and 10, McFadden can't get to the line of scrimmage. So that's the 2nd time that Jacksonville's defense would have been off the field, but a penalty extending an Oakland drive. So Derek Marks, the first-year Jaguars player coming over from Tennessee last offseason on the tackle.
And this has been one of the things that the Jacksonville Jaguars were really hoping happened. They wanted their front 4 in particular to be able to pressure the opponent quarterbacks. And to this point, early in week 2, or late in week 2, they haven't been able to do it consistently.
Well, as bad as Jacksonville's looked, still down only 10 at the end of 3. We'll return to Oakland after this. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Start of the 4th quarter in Oakland. You see our scoring so far, 13-3, Raiders in front. Home opener for Dennis Allen's silver and black. SPERO, DEDES, Steve BEUERLEIN, Steve Tasker, our entire CBS crew with you. This is 2nd and 12, 2nd time Pryor has bobbled the snap. Finds the rookie Butler, late marker at the end of the play. As Puzlusny there defensively. He fumbled one earlier on an errant snap, but that one hit him right on the hands.
Illegal block in the back, number 17, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It's Denarius Moore had the drop earlier.
When Pryor drops this snap, everything's kind of messed up. He tries to still flip it out to the wide receiver on time, but Babin is right in his lap. He flutters the ball, and by the time Moore can sort out who he's supposed to block, the guy's up the field, and he has to hit him in the back to keep him from getting a clean shot on his teammate Butler.
Guys, one injury update for the Raiders. Starting guard Lucas Nix, an ankle injury.
At the 20-yard line.
Lucas Nix, an ankle, questionable to return. We'll stay on top of that for you.
He hurt it on that screen pass earlier where he missed that block, and he'd been hobbling ever since. So that forces the Raiders to have to shift around their offensive line.
Of course, Jared Valdir, arguably their best player, going down with the injury, the torn triceps muscle. He's out till at least week 9. Menelik Watson, the rookie, out a second straight week. 3rd and 11 after they pick up the penalty. Pryor completes. That's his tight end to the 10, and Michael Rivera made his NFL debut last Sunday, 2 catches. The rookie out of Tennessee with a big play close to the first down marker.
And now Dennis Allen has a decision to make. You're going to see he gets right about that 11-yard line. They got to, that's a good full 2 yards to go. I think Dennis Allen's making the right choice here. Putting the team up.
Especially considering, 13 points, especially considering how much Jacksonville has struggled to score. Here's Janikowski, 2 of 3, missed from 35. This one is perfect. 29 yards out. And a 13-point Raiders lead. Early stages, 4th quarter. Can Jacksonville generate any kind of offense? See the Oakland scoring drive, 7 plays, 37 yards. They stall outside the 10. Sebastian Janikowski bangs in another field goal, 29 yards out, 16-3, Oakland in front. Raiders trying to get to 1-1 after just falling short at Indy last Sunday, and Janikowski booming one through the end zone as Chad Henne and company back onto the field. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS rocks. Another doubleheader slate of games. First matchup, and the Texans take on Joe Flacco and the Super Bowl champs. Then Andrew Luck against Colin Kaepernick. What a matchup coming your way next Sunday. That'll be the second portion of our CBS doubleheader that starts with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. And while we have a moment, we want to extend our thoughts and prayers to the NFL Today's Jason La Canfora and his wife Lauren. On a 1st and 10 play, they keep it up the middle to Jordan Todman. Lauren, the victim of a hit-and-run accident near their home this weekend. Everyone at CBS wishing her a very speedy recovery in a very scary situation. So 2nd and 6 again. Maurice Jones-Drew, if he just joined us, sprained left ankle, same foot in which he sustained that Liz Frank injury last October. No sign of him, guys, and at this point you have to assume he may be done for the day.
Well, you're looking at a team that is struggling mightily right now offensively. That goes
decimated by injuries.
Decimated by injuries. They're missing Justin Blackmon, who's suspended for another 2 games after this one. Mercedes Lewis out. They don't have many weapons on offense. And you take your most established player out of the game in Maurice Jones-Drew, the deck is stacked against them for sure. But you still got to find a way to make it happen. Somebody's got to step up.
This will be 3rd and 6. It is loud here. You see them trying to struggle to get the play call in. Henne throwing near side. It's caught. And now they say incomplete. Ace Sanders, the target. Mike Jenkins, who left the game earlier on a tight coverage.
Well, this ball is actually thrown in a great spot by Chad Henne. You see the tight coverage by Mike Jenkins. Ace Sanders, you know what? This is the big time. You're in the NFL. You got to pull that in. Would have been a great catch, but
have to maintain the catch through the ground.
Yeah, you almost have to get up and hand the football to the official before they say it's a catch, but couldn't get it done on that one.
Anger to punt. Adams from his own 35 had a 30-yard return in the first half. That time going nowhere. Brought down by the backup cornerback Demetrius McCray after a 41-yard punt. Let's send you to New York and an update with James Brown.
Brandon Jacobs a week ago was on the street.
And now, JB, he's in the end zone. A 1-yard TD plunge brings the Giants to within 17-16. Broncos on top of the Giants.
Late in the third, back to SPERO, Steve and Steve.
All right, guys, thanks. All eyes on MetLife Stadium, of course. Eli's got him in the Super Bowl category, but 0-2 against Peyton head-to-head. First and 10, Terrell Pryor back under center, just got past the 35-yard line. McFadden across the 40 and brought down Steve. BEUERLEIN, you had a chance to talk to Reggie McKenzie, your old teammate here with the Raiders. It's year 2 of the Reggie McKenzie rebuild. They turned over more than half the roster, and they've really changed their philosophy in terms of the player that they want to go out and bring in. It used to be they wanted the fastest, the strongest guy. Now it's just as much about character as it is about talent as they try to rebuild this franchise.
I talked with Reggie before the game for quite a while, and you hit it right on the head, SPERO. He talked about he wants not only guys with experience that can play at a high level, he wants the right kind of guys to build this locker room around.
McFadden lunges towards the 40.
And the thing that I think Reggie is doing differently is you see this replay of McFadden trying to find a place to run. He jukes out Paul Posluszny. But McKenzie's doing the thing we spoke about in the first half. He's got a lot of veterans, and he's given them a carrot to dangle in front of them to make sure they're given a full effort. 1-year contracts for a lot of these guys, 9 new starters on the defense. They're playing like they're hungry, and they have in both weeks, 1 and 2.
Terrell Pryor having a hard time getting this play called. They're going to have to take a timeout unless they hurry up and get the quick snap off. But so much to talk about with Reggie McKenzie and this Raider organization.
There's the second time they have to burn a timeout. This one coming at the 11-minute mark, early fourth, all Oakland, 13-point lead.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Don John, the new comedy starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Scarlett Johansson in theaters September 27th. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
This Oakland Raiders team, home opener today, 0-1, looking for their first victory. 11 minutes away with a 13-point lead over Jacksonville. 3rd and 9 from the 39. All day to throw for Pryor. Finds his man and got the first down right at the 50. That's the backup tight end, the rookie Michael Rivera for 10 and a first down.
Well, this play right here, Terrell Pryor ends up getting to the right guy, but it was late. He got it anyway and made the first down. You're going to see how long Michael Rivera is open, and this is the evolution. You're going to see right over the middle, Michael Rivera sitting down here. He's waiting for that ball. It comes on time, finally gets there, but it's a little bit late. He's got to be a little bit quicker getting through his progression because that ball should have been on Rivera right as he turned to look at the quarterback.
First and 10 from the 50. McFadden over the century mark, looking for more. Brought down by Posluszny and Allen, the linebackers. Back to New York. Get an update with James Brown.
Shannon, is it no Sean or yes Sean?
JB, this is how you set an edge. Watch the tight end, Virgil Green. The combo block up. Get the linebacker. No Sean Marino. No. Into the end zone. His second 20-plus yard run. 24-16, Broncos on top at MetLife.
It needs to be changed to yes Sean now. SPERO is back.
Denver the extra time to prepare after that opening night Thursday victory. And an 8-point lead over the New York Giants. 2nd and 7. McFadden over center. Make that Rashad Jennings, I beg your pardon, inside the 45 and brought down to make it 3rd down coming up.
And you can see is that the trend in the NFL is no huddle, hurry up. Jacksonville uses it, but here in the second half as the fourth quarter winds away with a 13-point lead, Oakland taking all the time they can. And I'll tell you what, there's one thing that Oakland seems to have, that's a 4-minute offense. They can grind it. They've got Darren McFadden and also Pryor who can carry the football, and they're tough to stop in the run game.
They throw Marcel Reese in there as well. for when you need those tough yards.
Pryor's completed his last 6 passes. This is 3rd and 4. Jennings, the old Jaguar, turning out yardage. 29 yards for Jennings before Lowry got to him.
Watch as it comes around. Perfectly blocked once again. Puslesny gets picked up by Khalif Barnes coming right around. Mike Brizell coming across. What a job by the offensive line of the Raiders. They have really taken to this downhill running scheme, and they have made Jacksonville look like they have no answers.
Jennings replacing Mike Goodson as McFadden's primary backup. McFadden back onto the field inside the 15-yard line and brought down. So Jennings doing it to his old team, the former 7th-round pick of the Jaguars back in 2009, giving them some insurance behind a guy like McFadden, who is healthy for the time being. And look at the rushing yards as they approach 200 on the ground.
I was just going to mention that last week the Raiders rushed for 171. That was 2nd best in the league. 195 today. They're sending out a statement that they can run the football and run it well.
This time they throw out McFadden in the slot, top of your screen. Marcel Reese, the fullback, getting in on the party.
Yeah, it's no fluke. I mean, their running game, as productive as it has been early in the season, I get that there's only 2 games, but it is no fluke. They have really blocked well up front today, and it's hard to imagine a team that would have been much more effective because of the execution that the Raiders are getting done. They are really spot on in all their assignments up front, in front of McFadden and in front of Pryor.
9th play of the drive. This is 3rd and 4. Pryor giving to McFadden. The time the defense not fooled. Geno Hayes, who is filling the big shoes of Darryl Smith, who has moved on to Baltimore. Longtime heart and soul of the Jacksonville defense. Janikowski looking for his 4th field goal.
You can't fault Dennis Allen for getting a little bit conservative, playing a little close to the vest as he gains more confidence in Terrell Pryor. You know, his offensive coordinator, Greg Olson, once they learn a little bit more that they can count on him in these situations, they'll be a little bit more aggressive and try and put ball games away.
And I think, too, the offense, they know they've got to earn that right. I mean, they have not done that much to be able to try and go for it on 4th down.
Janikowski from 28 yards out. Now 4 of 5 on the day, and Oakland builds on its lead with 6 minutes left. 19-3 our score, 6 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. No sign of Maurice Jones-Drew. If you've just joined us, sprained left ankle, same foot that Carson miss much of last season, that Liz Frank injury. And the sad irony, the cruel irony, it's the same stadium in which it has happened. I certainly hope that this injury will not be nearly as serious. With Jacksonville desperately looking for offense. Looks like Stephen Burton is okay. Well, not everyone can be a quarterback, so get inside the minds of those who can. Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, and our Steve BEUERLEIN joining Adam Schein. NFL Monday QB tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern. Only CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. There's Blaine Gabbert, 15 stitches on that right throwing hand. Petty faking the hit give. Finds shorts, minimal yardage, and forced out by DJ Hayden. Here was the injury to Jones-Drew, and this is a play I think we'll be seeing on the highlight reels tonight. That's a big play, guys. It basically saves a touchdown run by Jones-Drew, and we haven't seen him since.
No, he hobbled off the field after that play. This is a Jacksonville offense, 8 possessions today, only 8 total first downs, 7 punts, and a field goal.
That one nearly picked. Mike Jenkins had open real estate in front of him as he steps in front of Stephen Burton and nearly had a pick 6.
Yeah, the Raiders sent the corner off the slot, and it forced the Jacksonville Jaguars to throw hot to the outside, and the Raiders expected it. They tried to bait the Jaguars into throwing hot against a blitz read, and they were going to jump the route, and Jenkins just couldn't pull it in.
And the Raiders defensive backs are not respecting the Jaguars receivers up the field. They haven't been challenged up the field like we thought we'd see more of today.
3rd and 6. Kenny buried. Oakland coming on the safety blitz with Usama Young.
Well, Dennis Allen said he was going to come a lot of different ways. He wants to make an offense have to account for every player on the field. It looks like on this particular play, Uchiwaneri, the left guard, and his counterparts on that left side were a little bit confused as to who was coming. And no doubt about it, a clear run to the quarterback. Usama Young finishes off the play with a nice sack on Chad Henne.
Pass protection an issue for the Jaguars last Sunday against the Chiefs. Gabbert sacked 6 times. And it's been an issue again today, to say the least. Andrews punt fielded by Adams at the 35 marker, thrown from behind the return. 49-yard punt, 9 yards on the run back. And this will not get any easier for Jacksonville. They'll stay here on the West Coast, guys. They'll be in Oakland until Saturday. They'll fly to Seattle to take on the Seahawks next Sunday.
BEUERLEIN, number 22, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. The first down. Timeout.
Inside of 5 minutes left to play. Gus Bradley and company down big in Oakland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. And by Subway. Any regular footlong is a $5 footlong at Subway this September.
Well, second straight week, same story for Jacksonville. Just 121 yards of total offense. Raiders haven't been stellar today, but they have been certainly better than what we've seen from the Jaguars. McFadden on 1st and 10, cutting it back. It has been McFadden's day, out past the 45 to the 50-yard line. And McFadden having a monstrous day, 27 yards, and now a fumble at the end of the play. Hard to see from our vantage point. Well, it's recovered by Lowry, and now we await the official signal.
Excuse me, SPERO. McFadden was down. He's down. Well, and maybe the ball did come out.
Yep.
But it looked like he had laid down, and then the ball came out. But on the replay, it may be that ball came out before he was down, and that's a good fumble call by the official, who is right at the angle you're looking at. The official is right on that sideline. That ball popped out early.
Jonathan Cyprien forcing it loose.
The ruling on the field was the runner was down by contact. It's first down, Oakland.
Okay, now.
So they'll need conclusive video evidence to overturn it.
And already Gus Bradley has thrown the red flag. He doesn't like the look. He got the word from his coaches up in the booth, who have had a couple of looks already from the replay, and this will go back to review.
And this is the right challenge for sure from Gus Bradley's standpoint for a number of reasons. One, what do you got to lose at this point? But number two,
on the field like that the runner was down by contact.
I'm thinking like you, Steve, that he was down, but that replay showed pretty clearly that ball was coming out. The question is, can you show whether his knee or any other part of his body was hit the ground before the ball came loose?
Right, it has to be conclusive that it was out early. And there it's out, and his knee is not down. His elbow, certainly his upper body is not down.
Fumble.
And to me, that's a fumble. You're right. I agree
pretty
with you.
clean, yeah.
Hey, guys, I'll say this. Jacksonville's going to go to 0-2, it looks like. This kid, Jonathan Cyprien, I know he's blown a couple of coverages the first couple of weeks, but this kid is a fierce and physical safety. Their second-round pick out of Florida International.
You're right, SPERO. He has made some serious pops today in this game. He still, going into the game, the Raiders were talking about how he had been a little bit exposed in kind of his coverage responsibilities a few times against Kansas City in week 1. But there's no doubt Gus Bradley and his staff really feel like they've got a gem in Jonathan Cyprien, and he comes up and he'll let you know he's there. He's done it several times today.
Kid out of Miami whose stock just skyrocketed after his performance at the NFL Combine. All-time tackles leader at Florida International, just 23 years of age. It's Darren McFadden and company looking on. McFadden, as he sits right now, 130 yards on 19 takes.
Yeah, he's impressed his teammates too, has Cyprien, through his work in the preseason, the OTAs. We were speaking to some of the veterans. Pusluzny himself said he really admired the kid's wisdom.
During the play, the Oakland player fumbled, and there's a clear recovery by the Jacksonville player. It'll be first down Jacksonville at the 49-yard line. Please put 4:47 on the game clock. 4:47.
We spoke to Paul Pusluzny, the linebacker.
Is not charged with a timeout.
Spoke to Pusluzny. He said Cyprien is just one of those kids who's wise beyond his years, in that he knows he doesn't know everything, but he questions, he studies, and he's trying to get better in film study and in the things he does to prepare to play. And that, for a veteran to see a young player do that, really raises their respect level for the young safety.
So Cyprien forces the first turnover by either team today. But too little, too late for Jacksonville, down 13 points. Henny on 1st and 10, going down again. It's Jason Hunter this time for Oakland. Let's get you back to New York and an update with James Brown.
Broncos, a little stampede.
Give themselves some breathing room, JB. You know what today is, JB?
What is
a
it, Shannon?
holiday, a lovely day, a lovely day. Tristan Holiday, the smallest man in the NFL, but he's also the fastest man. 38-16, Broncos starting to pull away.
Anytime you can get Boomer a size in a chuckle, that's pretty good. All right, back to SPERO.
Guys having a good old time in the studio. Denver pull it away. Mutt snap. All they can do is fall on it back at the 40, and that perfectly summarizes the kind of 2-week start it's been to the season for Gus Bradley's Jaguars.
Well, Ace Sanders coming across the field in motion, and that ball is snapped right into his belly. I don't know whether Henny signaled for the snap or Meester just did it on his own, but it was no doubt about the ball was not supposed to be snapped at that point. When it rains, it pours.
3rd and 21. Henny slings it over the middle. What a catch! Ace Sanders, the rookie, going airborne at the Oakland 30 for a pickup of 30.
Well, this is what we said in the open, that Chad Henne's experience and arm strength were going to force the Raiders to cover vertical. That's the first time we've seen it take place. Ace Sanders with a courageous and athletic catch. Wow.
1st and 10, play whistle dead. It was Tracy Porter on that last hit.
Full start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
8th penalty on Jacksonville.
You can bet that
It's Luke Jokel, the culprit.
You can bet that Oakland, even though they feel they have this game in hand, this defense does not want to give up any points to Jacksonville. They want an offensive shutout of the end zone, and plus take them out of field goal range.
Here comes the pressure again off the top.
That one caught by Jeremy Ebert, the man who they signed just this week. All the injuries at the tight end position. We mentioned no Mercedes Lewis. Ebert, the 7th-round pick of the Patriots a year ago.
Well, there's no doubt what the Raiders are trying to do here defensively. They want to get to Chad Henne no matter how they have to do it. Every play they're coming with pressure. You see everybody up at the line of scrimmage right now. Here they come.
Henne, fine time, 2nd and 10, going end zone. It's incomplete, shorts. The intended receiver, DJ Hayden, was
Prior
with
to
him.
the snap, false start, number 76, offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Players couldn't hear
Please
the
put
whistles.
3:02 on the game clock, please.
So they'll put 6 seconds back on the game clock.
Well, we're going to see that's 2 plays in a row. Luke Jokel right here on your screen. The rookie just getting a little bit antsy. He knows there's a lot of pressure coming. He doesn't want his quarterback to get hit anymore. He's just a little bit too antsy. They got him.
2nd and 15. They send Ebert in motion. Henne out of the shotgun. Finding shorts. Forced out of bounds inside the 15-yard line by Hayden. 22 yards and a Jacksonville first down.
Yeah, that's a quarterback who knows who he's throwing to. We spoke earlier about how these two really hit it off late last season. Henne going back to him. That's a great throw, good catch. And that's two guys who have worked together before, and that showed on that play.
And we've been talking all week. That's what we expected to see more of out of Jacksonville today. Waiting too long to go to it.
Shorts the breakout season a year ago, nearly 1,000 yards receiving. Henne end zone, touchdown! And for the first time this season, Jacksonville with a touchdown. It's Clay Harbor, the 4th-year tight end, and a man who was claimed off waivers just days before the opener from Philadelphia.
Well, nice throw and catch right here. Clay Harbor, very athletic tight end, getting open over the middle, goes up, big body. That was Charles Woodson coming in late, just a step late. And a great throw and catch. You see right there, nice move at the top. Woodson a little hesitant making his break. Went for the ball and missed it as Jacksonville decides to go for 2 right here.
And why not? 2:53 remaining, down 10.
Try and make it a 1-score ball game if they can get the 2-point here.
Raiders coming, Henne end zone, not even close. So it will remain a 2-possession game. That one too high for Burton. Under 3 minutes to play. Gus Bradley just trying to look for anything as this team now will head to Seattle to take on his old team, the Seahawks, next Sunday night.
And you got to think now the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to bring out the onside kick team, and the Raiders will answer with their hands team as wide receivers, defensive backs, tight ends will all be on the kickoff return team up close to the line, up close to the zone. And you can see here they come. Yeah, it's Marcel Reese and all those guys.
And we just saw Gus Bradley, and we know through working with him for the last 2 weeks what a positive energy guy he is. A play like that, a drive like that, even though this ball game is still a very much an uphill battle for the Jaguars, he's going to use that kind of stuff to try and build. There's no such thing as a moral victory in the NFL, but those are positives that he can build on to show his guys we are capable of playing at a high level.
Well, yeah, and this is a better game than what they played last week. And their mantra has always been just get better, just get better. And if you're better this week than you were last week, expect to be better next week than you were this week.
So that last graphic, the first offensive touchdown for Jacksonville in 10 quarters. Onside kick recovered easily by the Raiders. As the hands team on the field, Rod Streeter falling out.
Very well played by Streeter. Steve, you know how tough that is to make that play, but if there's any indecision, you're not going to make that play. He was aggressive going after that football. Pretty impressive.
You're exactly right. That's what you have to do, and that's how you teach it. Be aggressive on the football. Go get it. Don't stand there and wait for yourself to get a good hop. You're not going to get one. Go get the football. Streeter did a nice job, stepped up, snuffed it like a low hop on a ground ball and smothered it, and that's exactly what you have to do.
Rashad Jennings on to spell McFadden on 1st and 10. Inside the 45 and brought down at the 44. So a Raiders franchise just 4-12 a year ago, 0-1 after coming up short in Indianapolis last Sunday. Now 2 and change away from getting to 500 before they head to Denver next Monday night.
Who, by the way, is looking pretty strong again this week. That's going to be a tall order for Dennis Allen and the Raider organization to go up into Denver, into Mile High, and win that ball game. But you never know. You never know.
What a wild couple of months it's been. Matt Flynn brought in, expected to be the starter, beaten out by Terrell Pryor, and maybe, just maybe, a franchise that has been looking for a quarterback for the last decade. In Terrell Pryor, Marcus come in.
Holding, number 65, offense, 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's Mike Brizell, the guard out of Colorado State, 60-year veteran.
They'll wind the clock after this penalty, and we'll get right to the 2-minute warning as 2:01 left. And the Raiders have no problem letting the 2-minute warning arrive.
Jaguars have 2 timeouts remaining. Chad Henne, from what we have been told, expected to start again next week. Gabbert has to wait for those 15 stitches to come out as they try to protect that right hand from the infection. They'll have to run.
Clock will start on the snap on a foul inside of 5 minutes.
All right, so Jacksonville decided to decline the penalty, the holding penalty, to bring up 3rd and long. And because of that, the clock will start on the set, and we'll get to the 2-minute warning.
So this will be a 3rd and 9 play.
That's a smart move by Gus Bradley to decline that penalty, bring up a 3rd and 9, because you got to figure the Raiders are going to go conservative. They're not going to try and, score a touchdown. They're going to try and dive that ball in there and use up the clock. But then again, with 0-1, the clock's stopping anyway.
It forces the Raiders to get one more play before that 2-minute warning.
Pryor rolling out. One out of bounds by a number of Jacksonville defenders. Paul Posluszny getting there first. 2-minute warning. 19-9. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Marquette King on to punt for the Raiders with 1:55 remaining here in Oakland. Booming kick, this one through the back of the end zone, and Jacksonville will take it at their own 20. We mentioned Steve talking to Reggie McKenzie. They've got that dead money issue. They're paying nearly $50 million, guys, to players who are no longer with the franchise. On the flip side of that, they'll be one of the biggest free agent players next offseason as they try to rebuild this franchise.
Yeah, Reggie told me before, he was a former teammate of mine. We had a nice talk before the game, and he said, we've been limited, very restricted by this year. We've had to adjust accordingly, but next year we get to have some fun in the free agent market and signing the guys long term they want to have around here for years to come.
Heading out of the shotgun, 1st and 10. Just throws it into the turf. A lot of players, Steve Tasker, on just 1-year contracts. Charles Woodson telling us, look, a lot of guys have a chip on their shoulder. We know we're playing to get paid and to stay here after this season.
I think 1-year contracts are a tool far not used far often enough by general managers. I think it's a real motivating factor for a lot of these players because they all want to leave a legacy and have a great career, but they want to, they want to be paid for that. And to have them playing for their very career and their future is a real great asset to an organization.
2nd and 10, bullet pass by Henne. That's Allen Risley, the tight end. Across the 20-yard line, they'll take a timeout here, pick up of 5 yards. As we get to 1:36 remaining here in the 4th.
And on that same note, you say these guys are playing with a chip. If they trust the general manager, and I think Reggie McKenzie's a guy that these players come in, they say they can trust him. He's a former player. He understands what it's like to be in the locker room. He says, I'm going to give you a chance. 1-year contract, you show me what you got. We're going to find a way to keep you here. If not, you're setting yourself up to be signed by somebody else.
Right.
Either way, I'm going to give you your chance. You show me what you're made of, and then we'll both celebrate next year.
Guys respond to that. They really do, and they like guys who give them that opportunity. They remember it, and I think word gets around that Reggie McKenzie is a guy players want to be in the organization.
And remember, this is an organization that has had the opposite reputation for the last many years. Nobody wanted to come here to the Raiders because of the disarray.
3rd and 5, Justin Forsett, backup running back, split out at the top of your picture. Henne, sacked again. Safety blitz, and a 2nd sack today for Usama Young.
Well, Tracy Porter and Usama Young both come off the corner from the left side right there. Both guys come, and they just do not have enough protectors for Henne to do it. Luke Jokel looks inside. He could have gotten one. He couldn't have gotten both. He missed both. Look as Luke Jokel steps inside. Both Usama Young, they both come untouched.
And that's a rookie playing like a rookie. He's going to be a great tackle. Nobody doubts that. But you know what? There was hesitation. He realized far too late that he had responsibility on the outside. His job on that play is to take the inside of the two rushers. The outside guy is free. Chad Henne's got to get rid of that football, but if two guys are coming clean at him, he can't get rid of the ball.
Gabbert sacked 6 times last Sunday. Henne 5 times in this game. 4th and 12, they'll go for it. Why not? Minute 27, Henne down the field. They got the first down. It's Ace Sanders. Just his second NFL game, 23 yards. Jacksonville out of timeouts, a minute 15 remaining.
That's a heck of a throw by Chad Henne. There was a very poorly run route by the tight end, Alan Reisner. He was underneath Ace Sanders, almost ruined the play, but a great throw and catch.
Henne pump fakes, going sideline, it's caught. Shorts. And now they say incomplete, did not get that second foot in. And DJ Hayden, who Dennis Allen was gushing about on Friday in our meeting with him on the coverage.
Yeah, watch, his left foot's going to come down out of bounds. He's got to get it down. It comes right on the line. That was an excellent call by the officials. It was a pretty good throw by Henne once again, and you wonder, and it's so easy now at the end of the game. Well, why didn't Jacksonville have this offense the whole game? A little bit of it is on the secondary and the defensive scheme that the Raiders are running against it at this point. But still, it shows you why Chad Henne is a guy that the Jacksonville Jaguars have plugged in and expected some things from.
Second and 10. That play whistled dead before the snap. Jaguars are out of timeouts. Hoping for a quick touchdown score here, and then a
offense,
onside kick.
Still second down.
But they're going the wrong way.
They go.
And Henne had to walk all the way over to Jed Fish and get the play from him. You had to wonder whether the radios are not working.
I think Chad Henne wanted to explain to Jed Fish what the problem was, because I think Jed Fish was frustrated with the delay of game in that particular situation.
See the penalties, 10 against Jacksonville. Keep in mind, if you just joined us, Maurice Jones-Drew out with a left ankle injury. Went down in the second quarter. We have not seen him since. 2nd and 15. Heading to Shorts, looking to him almost exclusively. He's got no one else really to throw to, no one else with real NFL experience. That time 18 yards.
Well, they're attacking the rookie first-round draft choice, DJ Hayden, right there. Chad Henne, veteran enough to know, hey, if they're going to keep lining up a rookie on my best receiver, where else on the field should I be going with the football?
Again, Jacksonville out of timeouts. Cecil Short split at the top of your picture. 1st and 10 from the 47. Henne will protect this time. He finds his man Shorts inside the 40, across the 35. Tackled by Porter. Again, Jacksonville out of timeouts. That time 12 yards and another first down. They'll just try to down it here, stop the clock with 34 seconds remaining. Reminder tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and 2 big interviews. Syria's President Assad and President Obama. That'll be followed by a new episode of Big Brother, plus The Good Wife and a Mentalist. Tonight, only CBS.
Please. Thank you.
Oakland Raiders will put a couple of seconds back on. Raiders trying to get their first win of the season and just the 5th under their second-year head coach Dennis Allen. 19-9. This is 2nd and 10. That one caught by Shorts.
And the Raiders are content at this point to just play 2 deep, real soft over the top. Let Jacksonville have those short completions over the middle, make the tackle. The clock just keeps on running.
Shorts now 93 yards receiving on 8 catches. This is Sanders. And push backwards, and that will do it. Jacksonville can't stop the clock. This one all but over as Oakland goes to 1-1, and Terrell Pryor with his first victory as a starting NFL quarterback. 19-9, your final.